Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I mean, how could I be anything but good? It's on Monday, and it's October. How did that happen?
It's October.
Holy cow. I mean, September was like just a flash in the pan. I've noticed the older I get, the quicker every single month goes. But the months that went the quickest this year were those summer months. Wasn't it crazy?
Well, summer always goes quicker.
You remember June? That took like 15 minutes to pass. I mean, seriously, it was like June, now July.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Anyway, welcome to October. We've got a special guest coming up later in the program, Michael Korda, best-selling author. He's got a new book called Alone, Britain, Churchill And Dunkirk. It's a really cool book that's very timely. Big movie that came out called Dunkirk. And I asked him when I was getting ready for the interview, I was like, so how long did it take to do this? He started on this years ago. So it's just kind of like now is the time for that period, apparently. I'm looking forward to chatting with him more about that. I got a quote for today. This one's from Ray Kroc, Mr. McDonald's guy, right? Mm-hmm. His quote is, luck is a dividend of sweat. The more you sweat, the luckier you get.
That's true.
Absolutely true. A couple of fun things to get to in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Are you paying a bundle to the cable company? Cut the cable and save with the all-new ChannelSurferTV.com. We've added several solutions that could save you money every month. We have dish TV options and internet TV solutions that start from just $20 a month. We even have an HD TV antenna for $30 to get the local channels with no monthly fee. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. We'll do our very best to find the perfect TV solution for you. ChannelSurferTV.com. Movies and TV with a low monthly fee. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, October the 2nd. It's not the 20th. It's a quick month, but it's not that quick, thank goodness. October the 2nd. Child Health Day, Guardian Angels Day, International Day of Nonviolence. You hear that, Heidi?
Shouldn't every day be a day of nonviolence, really?
Don't be violent today, Heidi. I mean, you're going to have to restrain yourself. Today is National Custodial Workers Day, Peanuts Day, the cartoon, Peanuts Day, Phileas Fogg's Wager Day.
What is that?
I don't know. It's world. I think we said the same thing last year. I'm pretty sure we did.
And we never bothered to look it up, so it must not have mattered that much to us.
Google that when it matters someday. World Day of Architecture, World Day of Bullying Prevention / Blue Shirt Day, so it's Bullying Prevention Day, World Farm Animals Day, World Habitats Day, and Day of Unity. I like that one. I'm going to celebrate the Day of Unity. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Here's Luca from Luca's Boutique. Tell us about the items we'll find at Luca's Boutique.
We have 100% Italian design and Italian-made leather goods, artisanally made by artisans, for example, that are commissioned by Gucci, Prada to make bags. We use the same artisans because we know them.
You'll love the fine Italian styles at Luca's Boutique. Leather purses, belts, and more. Learn more at fineitalianstyles.com.
This is Luca from Luca's Boutique, and we have fine Italian styles.
fineitalianstyles.com.
John and Heidi.
Going to get your brain on drugs here in a second, but first, there are now reports that three of the Kardashian crew are now expecting. So Kim and Kylie and Khloe. I can't tell them apart
Who
because
cares?
I don't know really. If you know what, if I was like in a bus with the Kardashians, I wouldn't know who they are. Probably wouldn't find me or them in a bus. But I got nothing against the bus. I just never ride the bus. So it was funny. I remember one of my favorite comedians, Stephen Wright. Remember Stephen Wright?
Yeah, I liked him.
I remember he did a little skit where he was talking about the bus. He goes, bought a bus pass the other day. I don't ride the bus, but it was such a good deal I couldn't refuse it. And I was thinking, I thought that was really funny. I was like, I like that kind of humor. Anyway, Kim and Kylie and Khloe, congratulations to the Kardashian crew. And I know that some people are super excited about that, so there you go. I'm not one of those people. We've got your brain on drugs coming up.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. An underage girl who called police in Greenwood, Indiana to report somebody stole my drugs. Yeah. Police said the female juvenile told them, 2 boys came to my house and put a gun to my head and stole my marijuana. I was trying to sell it to them, but they stole it from me. Officers searched the home where they did find other drug paraphernalia, quote, all over the house, end quote. The teen thieves were also tracked down and arrested on robbery, weapons, and drug charges. The teen dealer is looking at possession of paraphernalia charges. All would be likely to be charged as juveniles because they're all kids. They're teenagers.
Wow.
How sad is that? Yeah, I don't know if you understand this, but if you're trying to sell drugs, that's illegal.
They understand now.
Yeah, now she knows. So there you go. I've got a link to that story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Modern Family actress Sofia Vergara is the highest paid actress on television for a 6th straight year. She is a very neat lady, isn't she? Have you seen the program?
I've seen the program.
I think she just
don't
seems
like the program.
Well, I'm not. We don't dislike it. We just don't watch it. We don't watch any of it.
I have watched it,
But-
so I don't watch it because I don't like it.
But I just think she seems like a nice lady. I think she seems. I've seen interviews with her. Her character is not necessarily the nicest in that, and maybe she is. I don't know. But the episodes that I've seen, she doesn't seem like warm and cuddly. But I've seen her as an actress on interviews, and she seems like a very fun person. So, Will and Grace relaunched after their season finale in 2006. The events of the season finale episodes were dismissed as a dream because there were things that happened in the episode, the end episode, where they're like, well, how do we reboot this now?
Right.
Anyway, that was just a, quote, dream, wink, wink. The show picked up right where it let off, the 4 friends living and being funny in New York. It says they, I think it rebooted, when was it? It was the end of last week, maybe? I don't know, sometime last week. Anyway, they're all back. And I saw an interview where several of the people that were on that show applied for a different position on that show.
Right, I saw that too.
Yeah, because we were watching that the other day, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool.
I love Megan Mullally.
I know.
I
Heidi,
think she's absolutely fantastic.
if there was a movie about our life, Megan Mullally would play Heidi.
Probably.
And who would play me? Would it be Brad Pitt, or would it be... Just kidding. Hey, if he's an actor, he could pull it off. Probably more like Kevin James.
Yeah, Kevin James. That's what I was just going to say. It would be Kevin James.
All right. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. Call 800-430-8328. 800-430-8328. Drug Watch Hotline is a marketing firm that represents lawyers jointly advertising their services. By calling Drug Watch Hotline, you agree to receive calls by legal service providers.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. Amazon unveiled last week some new Echo gadgets. Now, I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
No.
I just read a sentence that makes no sense to me. Amazon unveiled new Echo gadgets last week, including a smaller version that that comes in various skins and costs about $99. The company also unveiled Echo Plus and Echo Sport, a softball-sized Echo with a
no idea
screen
what an Echo is.
that displays things like the weather and allows you to video chat. Apparently, this is a device. Oh, I think I know what it is. No, because isn't that Alexa or something? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's a product of some kind.
Yeah.
I just feel like am I speaking German? What's going on here? I don't understand what I'm talking about. Well, there is a link here. I'm going to have to click on that when we're done to find out what we just said. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have a link to it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show so you can find out what we just said too. I still don't know. A bailiff. Oh, this almost made my weird news of the day, Heidi. I'm going to see what you think of this because I think this is just bizarre. A bailiff in a China courtroom touched the hearts of many after she was photographed breastfeeding a crying baby, a little girl, as her mother stood trial. The defendant was being charged on numerous counts of fraud and embezzlement last Saturday when her baby started to kick and fuss and cry during the proceedings. At this point, a bailiff, who had just recently given birth herself, took the child out of the courtroom, found a private corner, and began breastfeeding this lady's child. Is that bizarre? I don't know how that
to me
works.
is very, very, very bizarre.
Okay.
I would be completely freaked out if another woman was breastfeeding my child.
And that's where I'm going. Do you know these people? Did she ask you to do that? But it says,
so weird.
According to the story, it touched the hearts of many.
Yeah,
Like,
a bunch of freaks who would also breastfeed somebody else's kid.
And nothing against breastfeeding. I think that's all natural and
breastfeeding is
awesome
great.
for your own. But would you pick up a
didn't
stranger?
Do it even for my own.
But I'm just saying. Well, yeah, because you didn't want to
felt
quit drinking.
unnatural.
You're like,
No,
I already
it
took off
just
9
felt
months.
Weird to me. I wasn't interested.
She started drinking while she was still in the hospital.
I did.
Don't let her. She had a margarita right after having the baby.
I did not drink at all while I was pregnant, for the record. Just
Was it
so
a big
everybody
gulp
knows.
cup? Was it a giant big gulp cup full of margarita while she's still in there? Like, I'm healing up and sure could go for a margarita. You might
My
have
mom snuck it in a McDonald's cup.
You might have a problem, Heidi. Anyway, this is a bizarre story, and like I said, it almost made my weird news, but I've got even weirder news, believe it or not, for that. A Florida woman was having an affair with her daughter's husband when the mom found out. Let me try this again. We got to do this kind of slow, because this is one of those things where it's kind of confusing. So a Florida woman was having an affair with her daughter's husband.
Oh, my gosh.
So that'd be like your mom and me.
Yeah.
That's
messed up.
When the mom found out, the son-in-law admitted to the affair to her daughter. So when the mother found out that the son told her daughter that he was having an affair with her mom,
all right,
the mom got so upset, she tried to kill him. She tried to run him over with her car. There's a lot going on in that story right there.
That's a very busy story.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to read it fast now that we broke it down. A Florida woman was having an affair with her daughter's husband. When the mom found out the son-in-law admitted to the affair to the daughter, his wife, the mom/mistress became so upset she attempted to run him over. Even after reading it a couple of times, I'm still very baffled by that whole story.
Christmas is going to be
Yeah,
awkward.
can you imagine? Want to come over for Thanksgiving? Who's carving the turkey? Not mom. Please, not mom. Hey, what is the ugliest color in the world?
I don't know.
Whatever color you're thinking is probably wrong, unless, of course, you were thinking Pantone 448C.
Yeah, I definitely was not thinking
Who would
of
think
that?
It's a drab, dark brown described as death, dirt, and tar. Well, this odious hue is serving an important purpose, though, discouraging smoking. So what does it look like? Well, you can find out. I've got a link to this color and the story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Your credit score really matters when it comes to credit cards, home loans, and car loans. It makes a big difference in whether or not you qualify for the best rates or even get the loan. But did you know that your credit score can also affect the price when you get your insurance too? Many people never even check their credit score, but sadly, errors happen all the time. CreditRepair800.com would like to help you repair your credit and make sure you have the best possible credit score. Get the details on how our program works at CreditRepair800.com. That's CreditRepair800.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We have best-selling author Michael Korda talking about his book, Alone, Britain, Churchill, and Dunkirk, Defeat into Victory. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Well, we appreciate taking the time to chat. Now, this book is kind of a labor of love. How long did you work on this?
Well, I worked on it about 3 years. I had no idea that a film was coming out on Dunkirk or being made, but it took me by astonishment. And there's another one coming in the first week of November called Darkest Hour. So apparently, Dunkirk has become a hot subject, both on screen and on the page. I had not anticipated that, and it's something that I had always wanted to do because it's the pivotal moment of the war. It's the evacuation of Dunkirk and getting 338,000 troops off the beach at Dunkirk is the moment when Hitler absolutely could have won the war and didn't. So I wanted to write a book that concentrates on that and explains how it happened, why it happened, explores the lives of the people who were involved, and tells that story because although I was a child, I was nevertheless present throughout this. I was 6 when the war broke out. I was 7 when Dunkirk happened. And so I remember a lot that did happen and have a very clear picture in my mind of that.
And this is a fascinating topic. Like you said, there's a movie that just came out. There's a lot of talk about this. I wonder why that is. It kind of seems like maybe this is just the right time But it's fascinating to me. I wonder why that is that all of a sudden this is such a hot topic once again.
I wish I knew myself to tell you the truth that I hadn't anticipated it. But I think it ought to be a hot topic because it's a marvelously dramatic story. It's the outbreak of war, the onrush of the German war machine in May. Churchill's coming to the prime ministership on May 10th, on the same day that Hitler's attack on France and the Low Countries began. And then the fighting, the withdrawal of the British Army to the beach at Dunkirk, since they had no place else to go except the sea. And then this unbelievable miracle that 800 or 900 ships and small boats appeared to take them off that beach in 4 days and nights. Most of those boats, I was going to say captain, but it's too grand a word. Most of those boats run by civilians. The youngest was 14 and a half, and the oldest, I believe, 78. Yachtsmen, fishermen, people simply taking their own boat and taking that boat through the minefields and across to the Dunkirk beaches to take the soldiers off. So it is this remarkable event with civilians risking their lives to save their own army. And I'd always wanted to know more about that. And the best way of knowing more about something is to write about it, of course.
Absolutely. You get to do a lot of research when you do that. Now, let's talk about some of the other books. As a best-selling author, you've got some fantastic books. Hero, Clouds of Glory, Charmed Lives. Now, when you sat down and started working on these, I'm assuming that you wanted them to be a best-selling book, but was that something that was in the forefront of your mind, or was that something that just kind of happened and you said, "Wow, that's really cool"?
I don't know that I've ever. I think it would be a huge mistake to sit down and say to oneself, "I'm going to write a bestseller." First of all, because it's like saying, I'd like to win the Kentucky Derby. Well, who wouldn't? I think, on the contrary, that what you really need to do when you write a book is to pick a subject that absolutely fascinates you. Because if it doesn't interest you, you're not going to be able to make it interesting for the reader. There's just no way that you can do that. And I think that that's really the critical factor. When I sat down to write a biography of Lawrence of Arabia, Hero, it wasn't so much that I thought that Hero would be a bestseller, although it turned out to be. It's that I was interested in Lawrence of Arabia. I wanted to know more about him. I was interested to do it. And that's the critical factor. If you don't have that, then you really don't have anything.
That's a really great way of looking at it. And I like that, the fact that you're saying, hey, I want to learn as much as I can. And if it's something that interests me, hopefully it will interest other people. And you've been fortunate that you have been absolutely right. It has been very interesting to other people. And congratulations on the success you've had.
Well, thank you. I mean, sometimes you can test these things out. I mean, one thing I've always tried before I launch myself out of 3 or 4 years on a book is to mention it to people that I know, and actually my standard of judgment was to ask my late wife Margaret, would you read a book about this? And if she said no, then I would go back and think about it some, because she was smart. She was a reader, and if she's not going to read a book on it, perhaps this is not the best idea in the world. But ultimately, I think that whatever engages your attention at a serious level and makes you want to get up in the morning and write more and learn more is the thing you ought to concentrate on.
That would be a good thing to chase, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I knew that Dunkirk would do that.
Oh, absolutely. What a fascinating topic. And again, not just to you, but to many. And I think that's one of the reasons that the movie has done so well. And I think your book is going to do really well. It's something that in history, in school, we don't learn all of the history. We learn a little bit of history. But when we start finding out about these other things that happened, it's fascinating to me that we don't learn more about these in history class in school. But I also understand there's only so much time in that room. And, everything that's happened in the world, they're not going to be able to squeeze it all in.
I think that's true. And as it happens, you touch a live nerve there, because I don't think people are taught enough history in school. And I don't think that that history is by and large taught in a way that makes it exciting and interesting and alive to people. And that's a great misfortune, because if you don't study the history of your country, you are bound to repeat it. And I think that as we get away from great events, Dunkirk is 77 years behind us.
Yeah.
We can look at those events with a clearer eye, with less prejudice one way or the other, and begin to see what actually happened, as opposed to what we were told happened then or what we think happened, but begin to analyze exactly what took place in a much calmer way. And that's I think something that only time brings to you. I think that's just as I'm bringing to the outbreak of World War II and to Dunkirk what I hope is an objective and storytelling point of view. So I think Ken Burns' study on television now of Vietnam, his 10-hour series, that this is the right time. We're far enough away from that to look at it in an objective way and understand now much more what happened and what was involved. So I think the element of time is important.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate that a bunch.
It's been my great pleasure.
Again, our guest today, best-selling author Michael Korda, and he has a new book out, and this sounds like an awesome book. It's called Alone, Britain, Churchill, and Dunkirk, Defeat into Victory. It's available right now, and we have a link to the book on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you paying a bundle to the cable company? Cut the cable and save with the all-new ChannelSurferTV.com. We've added several solutions that could save you money every month. We have dish TV options and internet TV solutions that start from just $20 a month. We even have an HD TV antenna for $30 to get the local channels with no monthly fee. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. We'll do our very best to find the perfect TV solution for you. ChannelSurferTV.com. Movies and TV with a low monthly fee. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A crash made in snack heaven happened in 2016 when a truck carrying beer collided with another truck carrying potato chips on a highway in Florida.
Oh.
That's kind of fun. A fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Burger King released a meat-scented cologne in 2008. I do not remember this, but it was called
I remember this.
Flame. Did you get me some?
No.
Why not? I like to smell like meat.
No.
Maybe not. And a final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
This I think is kind of fun, and it's a little more lengthy. On 09/09/09, a 99-cent store in Hollywood allowed 9 couples to get married for just 99 cents, and each couple got $99.99 in cash handed back to them. Again, on 09/09/09. Would you?
No, there is no way
You wouldn't want to do that?
ever that I would
Heidi,
do
that is
something
so
like
romantic.
That. How trashy.
It is so romantic. You love the dollar store.
I love the dollar store. I wouldn't get married in one.
Okay, well, there you go. Couple of fun facts brought to you by 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Are you struggling with addiction or alcohol problems? If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help, and your insurance may offer coverage.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-438-0380, 800-438-0380.
Now, your weird word of the day. And I just added the weird part because these weird words are weird, aren't they?
Yes.
They're always so weird, like this one. Fallacious. I've heard of the word. Have you heard of fallacious?
I have not heard of fallacious.
I've heard of fallacious. It's an adjective embodying a fallacy, misleading, or deceptive. Jerry became sick of the fallacious anonymous emails he got almost daily proclaiming him a winner of this or that. Fallacious. I am sick of the fallacious news. They should call it that instead of fake news. Fallacious news sounds a little more,
sounds
highbrow.
X-rated.
Yeah,
fallacious.
Fallacious news. This is the Fallacious News Network. It does almost have kind of
naughty.
phallic sound to it. So anyway, Fallacy. Have you heard of a fallacy?
Yes.
Like falsehood. So that's where the kind of the root word of fallacious. So this is like the least weird word that we've had in a while, but it's still a pretty weird word. If you get a chance to use it, go ahead and try today. Fallacious. There's the weird word of the day.
John and Heidi.
Here's Luca from Luca's Boutique. Tell us about the items we'll find at Luca's Boutique.
We have 100% Italian design and Italian made leather goods, artisanally made by artisans, for example, that are commissioned by Gucci, Prada to make bags. We use the same artisans because we know them.
You'll love the fine Italian styles at Luca's Boutique. Leather purses, belts, and more. Learn more at fineitalianstyles.com.
This is Luca from Luca's Boutique, and we have fine Italian styles.
fineitalianstyles.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, some weird news. We almost had a different story about a lady in China breastfeeding another person's
Right.
baby. That was going to be my weird news. Then I came across this little gem. What the heck is going on? A robotic speed bump is being tested in Sweden. Yeah, I said that right. A speed bump. It's attached to a radar gun. It will automatically lower when somebody is driving too fast to give them a jolt, reminding them to slow down
Whoa.
and follow the speed limit. That description didn't do a whole lot for me, and then I watched the video, and it explained it pretty well. It's kind of
You
a
would think that would cause accidents.
well, it's kind of a good idea, and it'll actually save in fuel costs. You can see the video for yourself. I've got a link to it. And it's not like you're going to drive into a pothole. It's not that big. And they call it a speed bump when it's really not a speed bump. It's more like a speed valley. I don't know, like a little dip. So when you're driving too fast, this thing lowers in the road, so you kind of bump, you hit it, and you're like, oh, hey, maybe I should slow down. That'd be a good idea.
I don't know. That
I think
to
they
me
should have it.
seems really
It should
dangerous.
be a speed bump. It should pop up about 3 feet or so.
A loft you
I
into the
really
air.
slowed down quickly. What happened? If you'd like to read that, I've got a link to all of it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh. This is one of the things that I've never really felt the need to be a mountain climber. Just never.
No.
I would do it if it was a little more, flat, and I didn't have to do it on my own. I could just maybe
If you could drive there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in now. I'm in. Well, 4 climbers who sparked a 3-hour mountain rescue operation in England get our moment of duh, all because they got to the top, did a little too much pot while they were there.
Oh, my God.
And were too stoned to walk back down. Mountain rescue, air support, and ambulance crews had to be dispatched to the Scalfel Pike, 3,209 feet peak, after the hikers got a little higher than they expected when they were high. The group apparently got so high they were unable to scale down the way they came back up. They called 999, which is kind of like 911 here, but this is in England. They were brought down to safety by the Wadsdale Mountain Rescue Team, a group of volunteers that support emergency services in the area. They got down at 9:45 p.m. No word on whether or not the charges are pending, but they were, too high on that mountain, if you know what I mean. That could have been our brain on drugs.
I would think they would have to pay for the rescue experience.
I sure hope so. Yeah, that would be a good thing. This has been your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Your credit score really matters when it comes to credit cards, home loans, and car loans. It makes a big difference in whether or not you qualify for the best rates or even get the loan. But did you know that your credit score can also affect the price when you get your insurance too? Many people never even check their credit score, but sadly, errors happen all the time. CreditRepair800.com would like to help you repair your credit and make sure you have the best possible credit score. Get the details on how our program works at CreditRepair800.com. That's CreditRepair800.com.
Going to get some good news for you here in a moment, but first, some kind of bizarre news. And I'm glad that it's not just America that does dumb stuff like this. This happened in France last year. A worker in France sued his ex-employer for 360,000 francs. Is that what that would be in France?
Yeah.
This little backward
Yeah,
C with two
yeah.
lines? I think it's francs or pounds or dollars or whatever, but 360,000 units of monetary
euros.
currency in France.
Sure.
Because his job was boring.
Oh, my God.
His job was boring, so he quit and then sued his ex-employer for 360,000
I sure hope he doesn't
French
win that.
units of measurement. I hope not, too. That is just bizarre. But I'm glad that it's not just America that has dumb stuff like that. Coming up, we do have some good news to get to. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I've got some good news for you, Heidi. You ready for some?
Always.
You got some
ready
Kleenexes
for
over there?
good news.
Here, I'll get a.
I think that's more you
There you
than
go.
me.
Get ready. I'm going to grab mine as well. This one of those stories. This baby was dying, so a nurse put her in with her twin to say goodbye, and then a miracle happened. I think this is really cool. 20 years ago, it wasn't common for babies in the neonatal intensive care unit to be handled, much less share an incubator. At the time, the medical community thought premature babies might be too fragile and delicate. But one nurse changed all of that. This was in 1995 in Worcester, Massachusetts. Paul Jackson's twin daughters had been born 12 weeks premature.
Wow.
And although he'd been warned that things could quickly take a turn for the worse, the twins seemed to be in stable condition. 3 weeks later, one of the twins began to struggle. Barely able to breathe, her heart rate soared, her oxygen level began to drop, and she even turned blue. One of the nurses, Gail Kasparian, I'm probably saying the name wrong, I apologize, Gail, she had the idea to do something that at the time was only being practiced in Europe and was never done in the United States. She said, I'm going to take the stronger twin, Kyrie, and place her inside the incubator with her little sister, Briella. And the result was nothing short of a miracle. Within seconds, Kyrie shifted and put her tiny arm around her sister to basically give her a little hug. She was fighting for her life, the other sister was, and instantly she began to stabilize. And her heart rate and her breathing and everything returned to normal. The sweet moment made history when a newspaper photographer who happened to be in the hospital for a completely different thing snapped a photo of the twins' embrace, and there's a picture online of the little girl giving a hug to the other little girl. The inspiring image shows the healing power of touch, became known as the rescuing hug. It appeared in Life magazine back in the day and Reader's Digest as well. And it says, had it not been for the split-second decision to place the twins together, doctors may never have discovered this incredible benefit of skin-to-skin contact. Now, premature babies are routinely handled this way. It's known as the kangaroo care, and some as young as 23 weeks old, rather. It says here, all of this thanks to a lady who just thought, you know what, I think she needs her sister.
Let me see the picture.
There it is.
Oh, how sweet.
I've got a link to this story so you can see the sweet picture too. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. That's where you'll find that. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening. We always love to wrap it up with good news, and I thought that was a good one. I got my Kleenex now. I think it's my allergies. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.